Mike's hot.
Mike's hot.
Da 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 da.
They're creepy and they're spooky. They're edgy and they're ugly. They're sneaky and they're shrieky. The Night Lord's family. Da 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 da. They fight in Midnight Claude. Their father is quite mod. They're cowards, this is true. Wait for the Night Lords to come for you. Da 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 da. Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah.
So, as far as the traitor legions go, the Night Lords are the ones I could sympathize with more than some others. Not say their actions are excused, but I get why they're mad at Biggie, you know? Cool motive. Still terrorism. Okay, so let's back up a minute. Let's talk about where the Sons of the Eighth came from. A terrible place, ruled by crime and fear. A place of darkness, harsh work, gangs, murders. The dark planet of Detroit. Nostromo. Yeah. So, Nostromo was a hive world totally ruled by crime, with an atmosphere so thick and the sun so weak, it was in a state of perpetual night. The people who lived on it had deathly pale skin, eyes that were completely black, not unlike the average WoW player. Wow. Truly, there was no worse place of scum and villainy, not unlike WoW. Such a planet was a pretty awful place for the Primarch, the Night Haunter, to land upon, and him being one of the perfect examples of humanity, took it upon himself to bring the crime rates on the planet to zero. He did that by skinning and horribly murdering anybody who broke the law and ruled the planet with a tight grip of fear. You know, I've heard the Batman comparison before. This is like a really fucked up version of Punisher or the Red Hood. To his credit, the Night Haunter didn't just kill street scum and gang bosses. He also went after the politicians and administrators who kept that crime in place. On the one hand, this approach technically worked. Crime went to zero and people could walk the streets in reasonable safety. But were they happy? On the other hand, when the Emperor arrived to pick up his son and add the Sunless World to his empire, everything went right back to shit. Some would argue that it was worse, since the criminals had an awful role model to take inspiration from. Yay! Now, most legions took the bravest, the brightest, the strongest, or the most pure aspirants to turn into Space Marines. The 8th Legion took the best, the strongest, the smartest, and the most vile little fuckers to add to their ranks. Not joking. Most, all, Nostroman aspirants were murderers and gang members before they even reached maturity. Presumably wearing matching outfits and memorizing dance numbers between switchblade fights. Their Primarch taught them that humans are dumb, reckless animals that can only be ruled by fear, submission, and, maybe the scariest thing of all, a theater kid in the dark. The Night Lords are not soldiers to throw out the front line. They're not single combat warriors who fight valiantly. They are terrorists that cause disruption so other warriors can do their job easier, and they are cheating scum who will do anything for a slight advantage. You can't fight if your eyes, ears, and several fingers are no longer there. That's called being smart. They fight in the shadows and see stealth as a way to slowly chip away at their target's sanity. Prey makes far more mistakes when they know they're being hunted. Let's be real. Now, if you think everything I said was cringy, edgy bullshit, congratulations, you're correct. As far as appealing to emos and goths, the Night Lords are for those who really like certain horror movies. The kind you can find on Tubi with a big-titted goth girl to explain the plot to you.
Ugh, get a load of Conrad here. The only thing scarier than that face are those split ends. Yikes. I've seen styrofoam monsters that look better than those bangs. And a whole legion of murderers and thieves. Gee, I wish some of them would come impale me with their little blades. I bet I could take a whole squad myself.
What are you doing? Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Now, the question is, how exactly do the Sons of the Sunless World organize themselves? And the answer is that they really don't anymore. Okay, so here's the deal. After that one big event we all know the name of, the Night Lords and their Primarch found a new planet to call home named Sagwal... Sagwalsa, yes. They would spend a century-ish using that planet as a home base for their piracy, with the Night Haunter leading them, while slowly devolving into gleeful madness as the moment of his death was slowly approaching. For his entire life, the Night Haunter saw the moment of his death coming, an imperial assassin cutting his head off in the name of his father. When that moment did finally arrive, he didn't feel despair, not rage, and not acceptance. Rather, he felt a sick sense of vindication that he had been right all along. Since their Primarch was killed and there was no one warrior to take up leadership, not anymore at least, the different companies of the 8th would slowly leave their new home to either form their own war bands or join others. Many would join the Black Legion as like terror squads and shit. The warriors that did remain would be attacked by the combined forces of the Ultramarines and their successor chapters. Some would manage to escape, but most remaining Night Lords died in that battle. So yeah, 8th Legion's pretty much scattered to the winds. Last time a major force of the Night Lords worked together in an organized fashion was during the 13th Black Crusade. Alright, reckon I should just go over the unique units now. Yeah, I know. Awesome segue, am I right? Night Lord Raptors are jump back using terror squads. It's also surprising they got to use the name Raptors and the Crow Man didn't take it for himself. These fuckers are lightning fast and are really good at getting in and out while causing as much fear and chaos as possible. Not unlike my sister's ex-boyfriend. Just look at the Fall Acadia series, where a raptor jumped into a squad, picked up their beloved sergeant, and proceeded to skin him alive in front of everyone until only a bloody skeleton remained. So yeah, bit of a morale killer there. There's also the Atramentar, who were once the Legion's Terminator elite, who are under the command of the first captain, Jago Yago Sevatarian, or just Sevatar for short. Jago, Yago, Jabba, whatever. Not much different from other Terminator squads, just teleport them dudes in as a truck squad and watch them clean house. After Sevatar died, the Atramentar squads all split and swore loyalty to different captains, essentially foreshadowing what would later happen to the Legion itself. I should also mention that some Night Lord sorcerers seek to emulate their father's foresight into the future, but none have been made with the natural ability to do so. Besides those two, which could count as one, but whatever, I digress. Alright, now time for their general tactics and other hobbies. As stated earlier, they primarily use fear and terror tactics against their enemies. Burn their homeworlds, poison their gene seed supply, and deliver a plague unto their chapter serfs, that sort of thing. They're also great in void combat. Like, assuming that the ship commander knows how to get their squads onto the enemy ships, it's one thing to batter a ship down from the outside, whole other game when you're tearing it to shreds from within. Like some legions, the Night Lords also engage in fashion and clothes making. They use only the finest and expertly acquired skins to make cloaks, masks, or frickin' jock scraps even. Just try not to think about what or who these fine articles of clothing are made out of. They also really love torturing people. Like sometimes they do it out of necessity. They just love to grab a civilian, an enemy combatant, or just an unfortunate chapter serf and just ripping into them for a few days. That said, don't rush things. You need to savor and appreciate your food. Okay. The characters I have available today are Sevatar because he's important to Old Night Lord's lore, and we may go over First Claw time permitting. So, who was slash maybe is Iago Sevatarian? Well, he was the first captain of the Night Lords and leader of the Atramentar. He's a liar, a cheat, a scoundrel, a murderer, and despite all that, he's like a damn good duelist and can be pretty funny. He has a nice personality, and by that I mean he's sarcastic and he possesses a sense of humor, even when he's surrounded by hostile forces trying to murder the fuck out of him. It's alright though, it's okay. Sev wants to murder the fuck out of them, so it's mutual at least. It's mutual. It's a mutual murder. His war gear includes some standard power armor, nothing too fancy, and Knight's Whisper, a chain glaive, a spear with a chainsaw on the end, which is equal parts cool and silly. Conceptually silly. I'd still shit myself if I saw him rushing me with that thing. Also, the chain glaive has a teleport homer, so he can call in his pocket terminators. But, like, being a little funny, a good duelist, and having murderous tendencies doesn't make Sev unique at all. Those qualities are like dime a dozen in Space Marine legions and books, especially with these bastards. Sevatar, he inspires a degree of loyalty in the other Night Lords, or at least in the Atramentar who support him. From there, Night Lords are more willing to follow his orders, partially because they trust him more than others, and partially because they don't want to be turned into Swiss cheese by Atramentar bolters. Yeah, he also died during the Siege of Terra. Probably. I don't fucking know. We don't have a body, so he's like fair game to somehow be brought back, but we haven't seen him for like, or seen or heard from him for like 10,000 years. And at like one point, the Night Haunter asked for Sevatar after he died, and he seemed really confused by that because he knows how he's gonna die, but the Primarch was like 100% grade A, A5 Wagyu insane by then, so he's probably dead. Let's just say he's dead. He's dead. Next up, we have Talos and First Claw, but it's a lot to go over, and I don't want to spoil the Night Lords trilogy by A.A. Ron Dembski-Bowden. So today's assigned reading is go read Soul Hunter and give me 500 words on Zarl is the best on my desk by Monday. Oh yeah, the Night Lords books are, well, they're not a lot of them in modern 40k, but we do get a few Harry Sierra books, and of course the Night Lords trilogy. I read the trilogy, of course. It's pretty good. I liked it. And I also listened to Prince of Crows to get an idea of who Sevatar was maybe. I haven't read the new Night Lords book, but check it out if you'd like. I haven't heard any terrible things about it. And the book Red Tithe may also apply, because we get a lot of the Night Lords in that book, despite it being about the Carcharodons, technically. The models. Listen, man, they're not any Night Lords characters beyond Harken Worldclaimer, who's technically like Black Legion. Just go with that and a bunch of raptors, I guess. Fly around and harass your opponent like an edgy little warlock main in WoW. I don't care if that's how warlocks work. I don't care. I have a life. Unlike most WoW players. If you want to lean away from like Chaos Marines or corrupted monstrous shit, I'd go with the new Red Corsairs models because they look pretty damn nice. They're more like Renegade Marines than Chaos Corrupted. And yeah, that's about it.